Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 6 of Swords, very good. You are somebody who is quite organized right now. I feel like you're keeping everything together. I feel like you're writing everything down. You're keeping a record. You're maintaining the calendar. You're taking the minutes from the meeting. All right. You are organizing. You're collating everything. You're trying to keep your mind kind of, structured and organized. Trying to stick to a plan. Trying to keep everything in its place. Okay. You may be literally planning something, some kind of event or some kind of planning out the year. You might be like scheduling stuff. Maybe you do that for work. Maybe you work in some kind of administration or that's kind of your job, is to maybe develop everybody's itinerary, keep everybody on schedule, make sure, maybe that's just you with your family. Maybe this feels like your life generally is you, always organizing and working on a schedule and stuff, This is a card of a very well-organized mind. I think you have your own, filings. You have your own way of doing things, your own filing system, yeah. This card is, to me, feels like there's no room in your head right now for things that don't fit in with this. Right? All of these swords are sort of aimed at the same center there, the same rose in the center of the cross there. So it's kind of like everything's related to the bigger picture. Every piece of information that you gain, you're finding a way to fit it in with your worldview. Okay, there's no fact that you can encounter that doesn't have its place somewhere in this scheme of things, yeah? And so it's kind of like you're just, you're filing things away. You're alphabetizing, you're categorizing. Okay, you're trying to make sense of everything and keep everything straight. Sometimes this is the card of a long journey as well. Could be very simple, it could be planning a trip. Okay, let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see where all this great energy of yours is being used. There we have a Leo energy, lust or strength card. We have a 9 of cups. The 7 of cups. Yeah, we're getting away from that, aren't we? We have a 7 of swords. And we have a Knight of cups. On the path of the serpent, we have the Hermit, your Virgo energy, your superpower card. Okay, so that's a very auspicious omen to have your superpower. And I kind of feel like this is literally like you kind of feel like you're kind of in the background of things. You're the one behind the scenes, kind of keeping everything running, right? While somebody else is kind of taking the credit, maybe. Here we have, okay. With the Leo energy and with the Princess of Wands, I feel like you're no longer staying in the background. I think you're emerging as the star of the show here. You're no longer backstage, kind of keeping everything put together. I think you're realizing that it's kind of time for you to take the next step up or out even. There's the star, right? I wonder if this is about you, becoming the star of the show, so to speak. We have there the Builder, okay, Prince of Pentacles. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite. and unknown. We're just going to set it down right over here with Dwight K. Schrute right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comment section below the video. Now, as we look around the room, we kind of see a story in the major arcana, right? We have, of course, your hermit energy, invisible, behind the scenes, laying low, anonymous, kind of not getting noticed, kind of just doing your own thing that you need to do. And then this is really like, this is the passion, this is the performance, this is the star actor. Like this is, you know, this is someone behind the scenes, this is the main character, this is the star of the show, right? This is that star performance. And of course, this is the, you know, that is the star. This is kind of like, you know, the star actor, and this is the role that they'd play. Okay? And so I almost feel like you're realizing that you want to have a little bit more of a spotlight role in life. That you're trying to, you're kind of taking the star, you're taking the lead role in a way. Yeah, because I think you're realizing that you are the star, and that there's kind of more that you're meant to do in life, and there's more fulfillment for you. But I feel like you've kind of been resisting. You've been resisting, like you know, putting yourself out there and stepping front and center stage. And of course, that's confirmed with our 7 and 7 of our swords and cups here. That's saying, you know, there is some internal resistance in your heart and mind, and maybe you're starting to realize that you want the recognition, you want the passion, you want to feel like, you know, you're being noticed, you're being recognized, or you want to feel the vibrant energy, you know, feeling a little bit impulsive here. I want to get out and dance, you know. So we have our majors anyway. We've got a little bit of fire. We've got water, water, water. We got our air cards. You have a little bit of earth. And the little bit of earth energy at the end is in a way saying it doesn't matter what this is. What matters is that you go and do it. What matters is that you get out there and you show up. This is like this, you're going on auditions now. This is you're going out there, you're applying for those jobs that you want. You're no longer staying in the background of your life. You're putting yourself front and center. You're saying, I want that position, I want that job, I want that role. You're going out there and you're doing the work to build it up, to make it happen. Okay? Your feet are moving. That's the point of this card. You're out there doing it. You're showing up. And maybe, you know, you're realizing that you want a different kind of role in life, and you have to go out there and you have to apply, you have to audition, you have to try out. This may be a sport, maybe it's a new job, maybe it's relationships, whatever it is. This is you kind of putting your feet on the ground and doing it. Yeah. But the Leo energy, the lust or strength card, this is your battle position. So it may be that you kind of, you're getting an idea of like what the plan is for your life, but we're having an issue with the courage. This is a card that's saying you really have to like take all that nervous energy and you've got to step up. It's time for you really to like to show off. It's time for you to be in the spotlight a little bit. Okay. This is a card of courage. And that seems to be the quest for you right now. You're being told by Spirit, answer the call. You're meant for fortune and fame, right? And maybe, generally speaking anyway, maybe not literally. You're meant to be the star of your life. And it's really required of you're being called upon to be courageous and to step up. Yeah. It's a card of passion. This is the card of believing in yourself. This is the card of a little bit of hubris, I guess, a little bit of arrogance even. Yeah. This is, you might call this someone who's kind of overacting a little bit. Yeah. But it's a contrast with our hermit, because this is your general energy, and this is what's kind of being asked of you. It's kind of like you're being called to step into a role that is not really who you are. You know, the same way that an actor, you know, they have their own like real life personality, but they're being asked to step into a role that's very unlike how they are in real life. I kind of think of Tony Soprano, right? James Gandolfini was nothing like Tony Soprano. Okay? But, for the rest of his life, he was kind of looked at as, well, that's Tony Soprano, right? That was a role. It was very unlike how he was in real life, at least as far as I know. I'm sure it's like that with a lot of other people too, but this is kind of like what you're being at, and this is kind of like the script. The Six of Swords is kind of like the narrative, the lines that we're supposed to say, and the role that we're supposed to take, and that's the script that we're trying to do. And you may be saying that you're ready for this. You want to have a more a more key role. Yeah. A bigger position. Maybe this is like at work. You're going to go after that big promotion. You don't want to just be kind of an unknown in the background. I want to be front and center. I want to be the one that's getting stuff done. And it may be that it's not so much a mask. You're not pretending, but you're developing these other parts of yourself that can play this role. Especially when we look under the surface, we see that 9 of Cups. There's happiness here. There's fulfillment, pursuit of happiness, the pursuit, the following of your bliss. Because the Hermit might be realizing that what has been going on in your life hasn't been feeling all that rewarding. And you want full bliss. You want full happiness. You want superabundance, right? You want abundance and celebration on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. You want it all. You want everything life has to offer. So the Hermit might be saying, look, I really want this. It means I got to step up. I've got to be courageous. I've got to be brave. And I've got to step into this role. Now in the background position, well, the 9 of Cups, right, since it's under the surface, I feel like this is something in your soul that is saying, I could be so much happier than I am. Because this is not happiness. This is like we've kind of settled for less. We settled for the low-hanging fruit. This is a 7 of Cups. This is something that may have been masquerading as something quite lovely. And, this should be enough. Maybe at one point this was enough for you. But then it kind of like, it started to decay. It started to just not feel so good anymore. You're realizing that this wasn't enough. Maybe at one point in your life you were content to be the one behind the scenes, doing the work, doing all the technical work, doing all the administrative stuff. Maybe you wrote everything, right? But you didn't perform it. Okay, maybe you got your name on the album credits or in the movie credits or something, but you didn't get to star in the show. And maybe it was okay for a while. Yeah. But I think you're realizing now that it's not fulfilling your heart. It's not making you happy. This was perhaps a limited role. Or this was a behind-the-scenes thing, that was satisfying. It doesn't feed you anymore. Yeah. We have some resistance up at the top here. Sometimes the 7 of Cups is resistance as well, because it might be saying like that you're not sure that you really deserve, that you should strive for more here, that you should have this courage to go out there and do something that's kind of outside your comfort zone, kind of beyond what you feel is your general energy, right? With the Hermit energy. I think what you're doing here is you're showing out. You're showing people a different side of you. People are going to look at you as the Hermit and say, wow, I did not know that you had this in you. I didn't know that you could be this person. People always see you as the Hermit, the one that's behind the scenes, the one that's writing everything and kind of taking the notes. You don't want to take the notes. You want to participate. You know what this reminds me of? Remember that episode of The Office where they go to the lake for that competition thing? Kind of the Survivor-style competition, and Pam just has to sit there and take notes all day. She doesn't get to play in any of the games. She doesn't get to compete. That's what it feels like. I don't know if you've seen that episode, but it's very funny. Because people see you as the one who is going to keep everything organized, but not the one who is a direct kind of competitor, not the one who's going to be out on stage doing the thing. People are going to be very surprised by your energy. Whatever you're planning right now, allow yourself to step into it and take the lead role. You're not writing the role for somebody else, you're writing it for yourself. Okay? But there is mental and emotional resistance for you. There's a self-doubt, there's criticism. Maybe you're thinking that you've never done something like this before, and maybe this was something that, well, maybe somebody else should perform this. Maybe you're a songwriter. Now you're going to perform the song, but you say, gosh, the doubt, I'm worried. Maybe you're worried about the critique. You're worried about the opinions of others. There's an internal resistance here. There's a self-doubt. Yeah. And the self-doubt is contrasting the happiness that you really want, that you really could feel, the happiness that's deep in your soul saying, come on, do this, let's be happy, let's really be fulfilled. Let's seize life by the reins here. Of course, the mental and emotional resistance. But I think that this card is here in the middle because you're going to do it. You're going to perform the thing. You're going to do whatever it is. You're stepping up. You're going to find the courage. There's stage fright, of course. I think you're going to do it. To me, this feels like reciprocating energy. This feels like love and affection that's going both ways. This is the Knight of Cups. It's in the future position. I think you're going to be very surprised by how people perceive you. At first, I think people are going to be very surprised by you. I think people are going to receive you well. Okay? This is you out there being vulnerable. This is you out there using your voice, opening up your heart, sharing yourself, sharing your gift with the world. Yeah? This is not something that you are the strength card. You do have this energy in you. It's just, it's been a while since you've brought it out, or maybe you never have. People don't expect it from you. But this is you taking it out of you and giving it to the world and kind of like giving your gift to the world and saying, here I am. Nobody knew this about you, but here it is. You're showing the world what you're made of. Yeah. Let's talk about the path of the serpent. We do have the hermit energy here as your general energy. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The hermit is, again, behind the scenes here, kind of wearing that cloak of invisibility, kind of being in the background, being anonymous, responsible for a lot of stuff, but nobody recognizes them. The one backstage, the one behind the scenes, you'll have your name on the credits, but no one really reads the credits, do they? You're not the one in the main character of the movie that everybody's watching for an hour and 45 minutes. And I think you're not satisfied with that. It feels too minimal. Okay? So I feel like people see you as almost in a supportive administrative role, rather than in a central decision-making, even the performance kind of, the starring role. Yeah. Very different energy from the hermit and the strength card. Okay? I feel like this is a hidden part of you, a hidden talent, skill, some kind of a performance. Maybe you have a wonderful singing voice or something, right? Or maybe you're wildly creative. Okay? It could be that you've kept that part of yourself from people for a long time. Maybe this is a hidden talent or a secret skill kind of thing. In the environment, you have the Princess of Wands. This is you out in the environment performing something, singing, dancing. This is you out there taking a risk. You're dancing with the tiger. You've got to do it, whatever it is. You've got to take a chance. You got to put yourself out there. Maybe this is your YouTube debut. Maybe you're going to start that channel. Maybe you've worked on a lot of stuff before, but you've never been on camera. You've been behind the camera. You're getting in front of the camera here. This is you taking a risk on your own talent. You're letting yourself go, and you're letting yourself just kind of dance in that spontaneous way, not with self-consciousness. This is a self-conscious kind of insecure energy. You got to let all that go. And let your fire just kind of move you. Let this creative spirit take over you. You're going to be out here, singing and dancing and I think without a care in the world. Yeah. This is your chance. The star card is in the position of the fear, worry, and concern. I think sometimes our doubt makes us wonder, like, maybe I'm just supposed to be behind the scenes. Maybe I'm not supposed to have a central role or a starring role. Maybe, whatever. We have all these maybes. Yeah. I think this card is here because it's trying to show you what your limitations are, what is preventing you from getting out there and dancing and showing the world what you got, and using your talents and skills to really be brave and get on stage, the stage of life, and be who you're meant to be. Because the star shows us, or gives us the insight, our ability to look within and see what is down inside of you here that wants to come out. And for you to look and see how you've been resisting that. The 7 and the 7 are kind of keeping the 9 down here, where it's like, no, this is just a dream. No, this isn't something that I can really have. I'm not going to really do it in life. Do it, why not? Why not? Believe that this is your destiny. Believe that you have something inside of you that needs to be expressed. Write the book, sing the song, dance the dance, paint the painting. Of course, we have fire and earth, that spiritual electrical circuit of creation. The Prince of Pentacles is saying that you're up and you're doing it. This is the builder. This is the one with feet on the ground doing the thing. Okay? So it's one thing to have all this energy here that you're aware of, but all this energy here has to culminate in you getting out in the world and showing up. And that's all you can do in life, is suit up and show up. And try not to get in your own way. Go on that audition, do the thing, try out for the team or whatever it is, right? Go on that interview. Doesn't matter. Go out on that date, sing your song, dance your dance, paint your painting. It has to resolve, all this energy has to culminate in physical actions. It's not enough to just be aware of this energy. It has to result in physical movements, behaviors. Let's look at the mystery card. I want this to be some fire energy. I want it to be a Knight of Wands, an Ace of Wands. I guess the Wheel of Fortune would be pretty good too. Maybe the 6 of Cups would be all right. Let's see what we have. We have a King of Pentacles. Same thing as this one. So it's kind of emphasizing this idea that nothing changes if nothing changes. You can have hopes and wishes all day long. You can dream of a better life all day long, but until you actually start moving your feet, nothing's going to change. This card has been sitting in the same position so long that life has gone on without them. The weeds, the leaves, the vines have grown over their chair, and they've become part of the landscape. They've just become a fixture. They've become just an ornament in the landscape, like a statue that has been overgrown with weeds and ivy, because they haven't moved. They've sat still for so long that nature just started growing over their body. And so that is the reason why we need movement. The more we just kind of stay put doing what we've been doing, the more difficult it's going to be for us to ever get up and do anything different. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. Yeah. Keep thinking the way you've always been thinking, and you'll keep getting the same thing too. Okay, so we have to believe that there's more to it than this. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to acknowledge our mental, emotional resistance and do it anyway. You're going to be self-conscious. You're going to be scared. You're going to be nervous and anxious. Do it anyway. We can't sit still any longer. Okay? Nothing is going to happen. All this energy is going to be useless if it doesn't result in you taking the actions, changing your behaviors. Okay? I think this is your prophecy. You're meant to do something extraordinary. Don't hold yourself back anymore. Okay? We're going to do an extended reading as well if you want to stick around. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Virgo Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we are all in this together.